Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be talking about how you can join PvP Draft. I've featured many videos, some Master League and Ultra League. One is just uploading. You probably have already seen it if you've watched this video in the future, and a few Great League ones. And I think PvP Draft, in my opinion, is the most fun format. You see a wide variety of different types of Pokemon, but I'm not the expert. I have here with me DRSP. Why don't you tell us about yourself and tell us about the Pogo Raids Discord?
Yeah, I am an enthusiastic Pokemon Go player. I live in a rural area, and so I started doing solo tier 3s and raid challenges pretty early on in the game. And that led me to the Pogo Raids community, which is a wonderful group of people who are very enthusiastic about short manning tier 5 and tier 4 raids and doing solo tier 3 raids. Over the past year, more than a year, we've been putting on Poke Draft in the raid format. So we do competitive raids where we do a draft format, picking Pokemon, and get a team of 10 and try to solo tier 3 raids as quickly as possible. We ended up really liking the community here. Like, I think everyone in the community really has grown close, and we like chatting with each other. So when PvP came out, we decided we'd like to play together as well. And we really like the draft format.
Okay, and tell me, how does the draft format for PvP differ from raids?
Right. So in a draft raid, or a raid draft, pardon, we usually draft 10 Pokemon in a snake format, and then you have to use the 6 Pokemon from that team of 10 to solo the tier 3 raid boss. And of course, you're thinking about weather and trying to track down the boss and all those difficulties inherent. On the PvP side, we draft a team of 6. So we don't have a deep bench, but you draft your team of 6, and then we choose 3 to battle. But again, most of the restrictions are the same. In raid draft, we have some restrictions about Mewtwo movesets, whereas in the PvP draft, we've ignored those moveset restrictions.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So why would someone, if they're, let's say for example, they're already doing like self tournaments or just casually doing PvP, what's the appeal of doing a draft type format?
Right. Personally, I would say 2 reasons, especially for joining our server. First, the community on our server is really positive and a really competitive group of people. Like, the people who are into competitive raiding are some of the most hardcore players that I know and are really into the game. And then within the draft format, as you talked about earlier, the variety, the depth, the team building that you get can be really interesting. And of course, there's no repeats, so you don't get the stale metas that you see sometimes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can see all sorts of interesting team compositions, and when you see new moves available or new Pokemon, then that can completely shake up the draft meta in a pretty drastic way. Versus, though I love Sylph, when some new moves or new Pokemon come out, it might be a while before you actually be able to utilize it in any significant form or fashion.
Absolutely. The other thing I would say is I've recently jumped into Master League Draft.
Yes.
Which is a totally different feel compared to Great League. The meta is very different, very interesting. And for me, it's a total game shift. And I really enjoy being able to use some of my raid Pokemon in PvP.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And certainly offering some really competitive play in Ultra and Masters is certainly going to be appealing for some other players that have done a lot of Great League or have a lot of powered up and maxed out Pokemon, and they want to be able to use it in PvP in a competitive format. So I'll be including a link in the description to the Pogo Raids Discord. So, but once they join the Discord, how do they join a tournament?
Yeah. So what anyone who joins should do is go to our announcement section on Pogo Raids.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the most recent announcement is by me. We are currently taking signups for V3 of our draft.
Mm-hmm.
So you simply go to the Google link provided and fill out our form. Read the rules, agree to the rules, and give us what region of the world you live in so we can schedule around time zones.
Mm-hmm.
We're an international server, and so you want to be able to meet up with the people you're going to battle. At least have your time availability lineup.
Yep, absolutely.
Choose your great league, ultra league, and or master league, and then we're this season we're trying to figure out how many round robins people prefer. So in our format, we do a round robin tournament. So everybody plays everybody else. What we've historically done is done a full round robin and then have people look at what they did in the battles, maybe think about the movesets they used, and then have a rematch. So one more round robin after the first. We're taking feedback on if that's how we should do it going forward. So if you have opinions, you can let us know.
And there are how many people in a draft that you're going to be facing in round robin? 7 others?
Yeah, usually 7 to 9 other people. Okay. So if you're doing a Great League, we have a bigger pool of people. Mm-hmm. And Ultra and Master League tends to be a little smaller. Yep. So if you were doing all 3 and you didn't have any mutual friends, you'd be looking at about 30 slots.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, you fill these out and agree to the rules, and then you're off to the races. I should add, once you've joined, if you have people that you know on our server, you should fill out a friendship matrix.
Okay, perfect.
So as you can see on the screen recording here, for each league, we have all the participants put in who they are friends with. So here's me, DRSP. You can see that I am friends with Voltur and Vilf and Mass Magro, etc. Actually, I'll update that while I'm going. But for example, I'm not friends with Sufis. So if I were when I'm setting up the leagues, what I do is I look for who's friends with whom and try to minimize the amount of additional friendship slots needed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That makes total sense. And then, so once they fill out this form, how long till they can start? Who they know, what league they're in, when they'll start battling.
Right. So signups are due by the end of November.
Okay, perfect.
Eastern time. And then we're going to work as quickly as possible to get the division set and have people begin building friendship throughout December. And we hope to start drafting in early January.
Okay, great. And then, so that's to join a draft, and once they're part of a group and they have everyone at Ultra Friends, how does the drafting process work? Like, how do I know what order to go in? Is it in real time? Do you just populate into a channel? What's the format to select the Pokemon?
So each division gets its own channel. I'll go to my current division, which is Ancient Power. And let's rewind in time up to the draft. So we have a draft bot. So when the game is available, the draft bot chooses the order randomly. So in the Ancient Power Great League draft, Shadow Brady was chosen first, then Toastmortem, then IB, and so on. Once once you get the order, Shadow Brady would pick first, and he has 24 hours to draft. Usually they go faster, but we want to give people a
Yeah,
full day to check in.
yeah, time zones and whatnot. And
Right.
then I assume it
So,
follows a snake-like format.
right, we do a snake format. You tag the person after you, and you go through the full 6 rounds. You can either put your entry in the spreadsheet, or a draft leader will come through and put your entry in the spreadsheet.
Okay, perfect. And then how do they determine who battles who? I know it's a round robin,
Right.
but is that just the draft leader determines that, or is there like a matrix that you guys populate?
Yeah, what we do is divide the division. So each person gets half of the division to battle in the first 10 days,
Okay.
and then half of the division to battle in the next 10 days. So I
Okay.
will go to our current matrix, and I will go to the Ancient Power division. Yeah, so in the Ancient Power division, we can see that each person has a block.
Oh,
So
interesting.
in the first 10 days, I'm supposed to battle Zooey, Salvador, Toastmortem, and Trollpig Spencer. And then in the next 10 days, I will battle Ivy, Forge, and Shadow Brady.
Okay, perfect. And then you guys play 3 matches each.
That's right. We play 3 matches each, regardless of outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Ties are reported as a 1-1-1 within our matrix.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And so even if you tie, the game isn't forfeit. We just count it as a tie, which is different than the Silph rules.
Yes. And then how
Yeah.
does the scoring and overall record? Who ends up winning the overall league that you've been
Right.
put in?
Right. So what we do is we calculate points based on the win-loss record,
Okay.
and then there are tiebreakers. So I'll scroll to rules. Yeah, so the player that wins the most best of 3 matches is the winner.
Okay.
But in the case of the tie, we take the record out of 18 games, and then we've actually had this situation come out recently. In case of another tie, head-to-head is used, and if that doesn't resolve the tie, people do a 1-round tiebreaker.
Okay. Okay. Very nice.
So
That's awesome. And
yeah, we've actually had that tie come up recently which is really interesting.
yeah. And then is there so hypothetically, if I'm a very competitive person and I win my draft, are there like higher level leagues, or are any consideration of being paired up with or matched up with more like people that are better drafters and better at this format in the future?
Absolutely. We do promotion and relegation. So this season in Great League, our champions division is Power Up Punch, and you can see several aces from
Yeah,
the Silph Arena
some very
in
good
there.
players there.
I called it the Group of Death.
Yeah.
It was very exciting to watch some of these battles. We also post every battle that is done because we want to record in case of real disputes and just to share in the fun. On our server, you can go to PvP draft videos and see
Perfect.
everyone's videos. Some people do commentary, some people just give the raw footage, but they're all very exciting
Yeah,
matches.
for sure. And I think that like will hopefully advance and mature the draft meta, because I think there's still a lot of a lot of hidden strategies that people haven't uncovered yet, or maybe not utilizing to the fullest. So
Right,
really
David
excited.
Smew was amazing.
Yeah, that play was actually really incredible.
Yeah,
So
having had to go up against that.
absolutely. So that sounds great. So I'll include a link to the server, and then check out the announcement, fill out the form, get involved in this PvP draft format. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a good way to do something a little different than Self, and then as well be able to utilize a wide variety of Pokemon that will hopefully give you an edge in other competition as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
thank you so much for this.
thank you for walking us through, and hopefully you'll get quite a few competitors joining this draft format.
I'm hoping so.
All right, perfect. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.